Hey, Megan here. Hi, my Hobonichi friends. It is my third week in the Hobonichi weeks, and I've had some thoughts about it, and I just wanted to share them with you. Um, if you are another new Hobonichi weeks user, you might be having the same issues. So I just wanted to go through some of the issues that I've had the first 3 weeks and how I've decided to deal with them. So let's go ahead and get started. This is my absolute first time using a Hobonichi Weeks. So far, love it. Um, but it's been a learning curve for me. So there's the month spread. And then here is the first week. You can see very chaotic, not much going on, just some jotting down some notes. Second week, we're getting a little more organized, but not at all like some of those really pretty organized spreads that you see on YouTube a lot. And then here's this week. I'm making some progress in making it look organized and getting some sort of a system that works for me down. I was getting on YouTube to look up some ideas on how to include ephemera in with the Hobonichi weeks. And as I was, it just kind of occurred to me that saying, don't compare your beginning with someone else's middle or end. This is definitely my beginning in a Hobonichi Weeks book. And so I do want it to look pretty. I really do. But I'm trying to remind myself that I'm just getting started and I'm learning these things and it's not going to be great. Part of me just wanted to abandon it and say, you know what, it's ruined. I need a whole new one because now I want all my spreads to be like this. But, just a gentle reminder, we're only 3 weeks into the year. It will be great to have a retrospective at the end of the year to be able to look at the progress that you've made. So one thing I'm trying to remind myself, and I urge you to think about, is that just look at 1 week at a time and maybe think about one thing to improve each week. Like for this week, it was my layout. Okay, yes, my layout does look better. But as I look at this, I see all my pen smudges. Hate that. So I've, looked into some left-hander friendly smudgeless pens that I can use so I can get rid of that. I see how, wonky my lines are. Okay, I'll get better at that. One of the other things that really is kind of an issue for me is that I love a really fat, chunky gel pen. This is like a, bold pen, but I'm just realizing that even though I like to write large, when I write that large, there's just not a lot of room. So I might have to work on adjusting the size of the pen that I use and the size of my handwriting. And also along those lines, I started keeping track of the nature that I see. Because I write so large and it's a big pen, there really isn't enough room to do all that. So I guess my whole point is I just want to remind you that it's a learning process and not to get too down on yourself if you don't like the way that it looks on week 3, because it is only week 3. And yes, I'm also trying to remind myself that I'm telling myself this as much as I'm telling you. So yeah, that's my first point is don't compare your beginning with someone else's middle or end. And then my second thing is just commit to making one thing look better each week. This week it was my layout. Next week it might be the size of my writing or my pens. And then when I can compare next week with this week, maybe I will, feel better and see improvement week over week. It really will be fun to look back at the end of the year and see the improvement. That's another thing. Don't think about scrapping your book. Don't think, oh my gosh, I'm a failure. I'm done with it already. One of the reasons I got this Hobonichi Weeks is I love a big, fat, chunky book at the end of the year. And if I give up now, I'm never going to have a big fat chunky book at the end of the year. So I'm just going to embrace it. Just going to go through, let the beginning be messy, and see what happens. So that's just kind of my little pep talk for those who are new to Hobonichi Weeks. If you are in the same boat as I am, I can appreciate what you're going through. I kind of just wanted to show a messy journal to kind of just normalize it. We can be messy. It's a learning curve, so allow that. I was also, when I was looking through the ephemera, I kind of had a funny story. This is something, a Pokemon card that I found on the ground on January 1st when I was walking my dog. I'm not a Pokemon person, but I asked my nephew who is, and he was telling me about Charmander. It's a cute little thing. I think he'll be my little mascot for the year. So if you have any ideas of how I can incorporate this in my book, I'm all ears. I am definitely curious to know how you would do that. And if you've also done, thicker watercolor paper, or if you use the paper that came with the Hobonichi Weeks, I'd love to see what you did. So please tag me. So this is my pep talk for the new Hobonichi Weeks users. Let's just keep going, all right? Have a great week.